Hey guys, what's going on? So today we are in the garage working on our 1990 Bronco. The power steering pump is leaking pretty bad, so I haven't really been driving this thing much. It's not really a daily driver, but it's nice to have an extra car when we need it. But yeah, so the power steering pump is leaking, and it's been leaking for quite some time. Pretty much since I got it, it just progressively got worse, and I never fixed it. I did replace one of the seals on the back of the pump because I thought maybe it was just coming out of the main housing, but it looks like it's going to be coming out of the front. So I have a little kit here that I bought. I might have stolen an O-ring out of here. I don't remember. This thing is open, and there's some stuff missing, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to take the pump out and see if we can get it to stop leaking, and then once we fill it back up, make sure that yeah, it stays sealed and doesn't dump out on me. So it usually takes about a day to completely empty, and then I have no power steering, which sucks to drive in this old truck. So the one thing you'll need is this pulley kit. I think I got this at Harbor Freight, maybe for like not much at all. It's pretty cheap. And then obviously the kit here, so the gasket kit. So what I'm going to do is start taking this apart and get the pump out. It's actually a pretty straightforward process. Really, you just have to release the tension on the belts, and then you're going to take the pulley off, and then take the 4 or 3 bolts out of there, and then the whole pulley comes out. And then there's just 2 lines, 1 inlet, 1 outlet that you have to remove. All right, well, let's start tearing into it. All right, we're going to start by just removing the intake hose. I'm just going to pull it off of the throttle body here and kind of fold it up over there so it's out of the way. And I'm going to take off the air inlet here. Alright, it might be a little easier to get this out if we take the whole assembly out. So I'm going to pull the alternator, or the AC compressor, sorry, off, and then just pull the whole bracket off altogether. Alright, so we're not disconnecting anything on here. We're just going to fold it up out of the way. Let me actually get a bungee. Okay, and now we can get into that power steering pump here. So I'm just going to take off the bolts. There's 3 bolts here, 1 nut here, and then 2 bolts that are screwed to the head. So alright, that's the last one, and now we just have to disconnect the lines here. So those should be, I think, 19 mil. Okay, after getting that, this line off here, there's a return line down at the bottom here. It's just a little crimp on the hose. So I'm just going to take a pair of pliers and pull that off here. Alright, so we have the pump out here on the bench. Next, what we need to do is get this pulley off so we can get behind here to the bolts to take the whole assembly apart. So this is the pulley I'm going to be using. It's a Pittsburgh. I just picked it up, I think, at Harbor Freight. I had it for a while. It's just been kind of sitting on the bench waiting to work on this project. But essentially what we're going to do is stick this part in here, and this goes around the pulley like that, and then this collar goes on here to keep it straight. And then we're just going to be cranking on this to pull this pulley off here. So we'll get that tight, and then we're just going to ratchet this in. Alright, that's a little tight, so we're going to cheat. Alright, with that off, now we can take the 3 bolts out to get the rest of this assembly apart here. Okay, and here's the pump. So now we need to start breaking this down and replacing all of the O-rings in here. I've never done this before, so it's going to be a learning experience for me. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab the paper and all of the seals, and we'll start popping this apart and seeing if we can get everything swapped out. Alright, so this little kit, the seal kit, came with a diagram of the pump itself, so that should help a little bit on what needs to be replaced. I already replaced this O-ring and the big one that goes around the back of this right here. So I thought it was leaking out of the back, but it turns out it's coming out of the front here. So yeah, we're gonna start tearing this apart and get that fixed. Oh, that's right. If I remember, there's a little, you can push something in there to pop it out, actually. So let me see if I can find a little dowel or something to go in this hole. Alright, so I got this center punch here. I think that'll fit. Yep, perfect. And then, I'm not sure, you just kind of whack that out or what? Okay, it's definitely pushed down. I'm going to try to slide it around so the opening of the retaining clip is where that hole's at. It might be easier to pry it up if we get it in the right spot. Okay, that should be it. So there's this little ring, retaining ring all the way in here, and again there's this hole here. So this hole, you can press the ring down so you can get something behind it and pop it out. So the opening is about right here. So I just slid it over a little bit so it's more in line with this, the hole. So I'm gonna see if I can pop it out. Now I'm gonna get something underneath there. Wow. Alright, well there is the retaining clip. That thing was tough to get out of there. Okay, we got the retaining clip out. Let's see if we can pull the rest of this apart. Okay. That's alright. I'm just going to leave that all together in one piece. It looks like there is one small O-ring around the outside of that, so we'll replace that one. And then these dowels come out. So we'll pull those out, and then this little retaining clip right here. Okay, those are out, and then we should be able to pull the front shaft out there. Okay. And then I need to pull this part out. And I think that's it actually. So once I get this out, I should be able to start putting all the rest of the gaskets back in. So this is the one that's leaking. It definitely needs to be replaced. Okay, and that's just press fit in there, so that's what that looks like. And I have my replacement ones in here. So what I'm gonna do now is just clean all this up. All the pieces that are gonna go back in right here on the shaft. It looks like it's kind of worn a little bit, so I'm gonna maybe take some Scotch-Brite or something and clean that off. It's a little bit rough. I don't know if that's just burnt oil or what. And then I'm gonna clean this up, clean the housing up, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got this all cleaned up, and now we're going to start replacing these gaskets. So this is the one we took out last. This guy here just presses right into the front. Okay, that should be good. And then this is the cap, just a press fit cap on here as well. Okay, those two seals are replaced. Let's go ahead and get this guy off here and replace this little one here. All right, I think that's it for the internal gaskets. There might be one in here. No, okay. All right, let's start putting this back together. Okay, I had to take this over to the vise to get the retaining clip back in. It was pretty hard to get in there, so I stuck it on the vise and then I just kind of whacked it with a flathead screwdriver to get it seated all the way. So as you can see, it's in there now. There's a little bit of a gap before when I had it in. It was like the clip was touching itself. It wasn't pushed in all the way, so I could tell it was definitely sticking up. So that's it all back together. We just have to get the back half on and then put in our little plug there, and we should be good to go. So I also need to clean that off pretty well. I'm going to spray that and let it soak for a while, so I'll probably come back to the video here in a bit after I get that all cleaned off. Okay, so that's all good. This is the pump I'll put back together. So we got the new seals in front. Like I said, that's where it was leaking from before. As you can tell, all over the front of the mount here, it's just covered. So we're gonna clean this off too, get that nice, and then we'll put it back in the truck, fill it up, and see if it leaks. So I'll be back after I get done cleaning this. Alright, as you can tell, this is all clean. We just did a quick pressure wash and a little bit of brake clean to get that cleaned off there. And now we're just going to mount our pump back in the housing here and get it back in the truck. Alright, so I went over to the vise to get the rest of this put on. I couldn't spin it down all the way with just holding it here on the table. So I got the pulley back on and we're ready to put it back in the car. So we're going to jump over there and do that now. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is get the bottom return hose back on. And then I'm going to screw this one in here, that way all the lines are plumbed up before we put it in. I'm going to put an O-ring on here. There was a little Teflon washer, it looked like, but that fell off when I pulled it out. So I'm going to put just a little O-ring to make sure that that seals okay. So it looks like this one will fit. That should be nice and tight. Okay, that should be everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to start it up and see what we get. See if there's any leaks or anything, but everything should be good. it looks like we got everything put back together okay. The power steering pump is making a little bit of noise, but I think it just needs to work the fluid through. So as you can see, everything looks like it's working. I must have got a little oil on the belt because it's squeaking pretty bad too. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go park this thing. All right guys, that's gonna do it for this one. That was a pretty quick fix. I wouldn't say easy. It's my first time doing a power steering pump. There's a lot of little nuances and stuff that that went with it. So like the clip, getting the pulley back on, things like that. But we got it done and it works fine. It's a little whiny. I think it's just old, kind of worn out a little bit, but at least it's not leaking and it won't run out of fluid, you know, driving down the road or whatever. So I'm happy with that. I might eventually just order a new one in the future. I know they do some like refurbished ones that you can get that work pretty well. So, but that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.